I'm still counting my blessings for all that you've done in my life. The more that I look in the details, the more of your goodness I find. Father, on this side of heaven, I know that I'll run out of time, but I will keep counting my blessings, knowing I can't count that high.
Welcome to the Unfiltered and United, episode 2, where we share real stories, raw, unfiltered, and where people can be unapologetically human. So I'm your host, Lynn Kay, and today's episode is not just a conversation, it's a testament, a story of survival and what it means to, or what it looks like to fight through when you're hanging on the edge. So today we have a very special guest, author Nadia Bernardi. Welcome, Nadia.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm honored to be on your show today.
Today we're not just speaking raw and unfiltered. We're speaking about survival, what it is to survive, what it is to be on the brink of a breakdown. But I'm not going to speak a lot about it. I'll let Nadia speak about it. So Nadia, let's go back from the beginning. Tell us about how you grew up, your child. You know, we lived in the same area. We grew up in the same area.
Yes, indeed.
We just never spoke to each other.
That's it.
So, we just kind of saw each other in passing, but we don't really know how we grew up, this and that about each other. So just tell us, who is Nadia Bernardi?
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity, Lynn. I'm Nadia Bernardi. I was born at Hottentots Hospital in Somerset West in 1983. I was placed in foster care at the young age of 11 months old. So that's where my journey started at 30 Mawson Avenue, Garden Village, foster care, up until I was 18 years old when my foster mother passed away. And from there, I had to basically find my way through life. I had a very strict upbringing, humble beginnings. I can say that I know anything of life. We had it all, and we also didn't have it all. So it taught me a lot of life lessons on how to appreciate life and how not to waste when it comes to food and all, because I would always think of situations when we did not have. When I was 18 years old, I became Miss Garden Village in year 2000.
That's like before me, after me?
No, you were 2 years before me.
I
never
was
forget,
also Miss Garden Village.
because I remember Letitia Asher crowning me. So that was a phenomenal moment. It was one of the best experiences ever. I can say that I wasn't everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
I wasn't everyone's cup of tea. A lot of people would mock me from school years, Garden Village, both high schools that I have attended. I would walk down the corridors and people would just look at me and start laughing. And then it went on to workplaces as well, because I was very skinny and tender. I remember when I started the one job at a supermarket outlet, how they would make fun of me because I was cleaning chicken for a living. And then when I worked for another fashion outlet, still mocked. And that is where I learned that I've got so much strength probably and so much talents and skills. Hence, that's the reason why they're mocking me. But little did they know the position that I was in, I'm earning actually the same salary as them. They didn't realize that anyway. So from 18 years old, when I lost my foster mother, I basically had dropped out of school already. I was in grade 11, I remember, and a matric ball or a matric certificate didn't faze me because I was way too depressed. I lost the person that I loved, the person that reared me and raised me from 11 months old. I loved this woman because she taught me everything. She taught me of cooking. She taught me of being a housewife so much before she left me. So it was very depressive. And this is where my book is coming from, because I would say the book is for those people that are suffering anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, the single mother and father, and the divorcee.
You know, it's amazing how our upbringing or our the beginning shapes us, you know, and we only realize it at a later stage. I know you were adopted. How was that experience for you as an adopted child?
Okay, foster.
I mean, sorry,
Foster, no problem.
correction.
With fostering, you still feel like you don't belong. Though the people, your foster siblings and your foster mother and father try their utmost best to make you feel that you belong, inside something is telling you a different story. You still feel like you are lost. You still feel that this is not my own blood relatives. And yes, you sometimes hear those nasty remarks. You're not my sister. And that hurts. So what my foster mother did was phenomenal, because she allowed my biological mother to visit me every month. So I could say I had a relationship with her before she also passed on. My mother suffered severe mental illnesses. But she was my mother. I would sit on her lap, and I still remember how she used to put lip gloss on my lips while I sit in her. But when I look back, she really tried to be part of my life, and I gave her that chance. And now that she's gone, I just wish that I could just give to her and she can see my successes and be part of it.
You know, in that time where you were with your foster parents, obviously there are days where you miss your family.
That's good.
You know, what is the one thing that kept you going on, or what did you hold on to that kept you going?
I kept on holding on to the motivations I would receive from my peers and my teachers. I would hold on to words like inspirational words and words of affirmation from people that knew me better. I would hold on to the fact that I'm a parent to two young children. I was at the verge to commit suicide, especially when I had to go through sexual abuse and rape. But I had to look at my children and ask myself, how would they survive if I'm not there?
Yeah. You know, you were talking about the failed relationships, and looking back now, what patterns do you recognize, and how did the past influence your relationships now?
I am not at a, let's say, desirable outcome with my relationship.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. There's so much work to be done on our relationship. We mostly have a communication failure, that I can say. But patterns in the past that I would avoid now is not to be physical looking at someone. Looks can be very deceiving. What I would want to do differently is to visualize the person that I would want in my life, walk towards that person, and build with that person.
You know, and not just a relationship with a partner.
Yes.
You know, in all relationships,
In
with
general,
families, with friends.
friends and all. With that, I strongly believe you should know your surroundings.
Yeah, no, that is
Know
true.
who's in your corner, especially in the position that I am in now. Gone are the days that you just hook up with someone. Get to know the person's ins and out, because for me to choose someone to be part of my life, you should feel honored now.
Yes.
Because I have decided who I want in my corner, and if I can downsize my whole soccer team of friends to one person, I'm good.
Yeah. You know, tell me, you spoke about you were on that brink of committing suicide. What drove you to that point where you felt you want to take your life now, you want to end it?
Okay, this is deep, but I'm going to speak about it, Lynn. I was 14 years old when I was raped. And I've already played it in my mind that if I should not receive my menstruation next month, that means I'm pregnant at 14 years old, then I'm going to commit suicide. That was one attempt. Then there was a second attempt when I found out that my current partner, was deceitful. I was cheated on, and the tablets laid there on the table, and then that is when I realized, you've got two beautiful children.
Yes. And the bullying. You said something in the beginning of the conversation. You said that you wouldn't. Let me just rephrase. People were making fun of you. I
That's
can
correct.
attest to that.
Yes.
I've seen it happen as we grow up. How did you feel in those moments when they were bullying you, and how do you deal with it now if it happens to? I know you have two daughters.
No, one daughter,
and
one
one
son.
son. Yeah.
Yes.
What would you do different to prevent it from happening to your children now?
First, how I felt when they did this to me. I felt that because I was young, I
Yeah.
felt that it's probably true what they are saying. That moment, you just tell yourself, it's probably true. They see what I don't see, and they probably got it point on. With my children, for them to, for example, to stand up for themselves, I let them speak. And no adult or anyone is going to tell me that my children are being disrespectful, because I will correct that. I would say, no, my children are basically being what I could not be, what I could not have been at their age. So my son is a very vocal person, very quiet, but when it comes to he stands up for himself.
Yes.
That's what he automatically had to learn. My daughter, the same. Yes, you have to steer them and guide them with a bit of wording, but as long as they can stand up for themselves from day one, I think they will make it in their adulthood, because adults are still being bullied out there,
Yes,
because they
100%.
haven't learned how to stand up for themselves at a young age.
And through through everything that you've been through, you still stand strong through it all as a mother, as a single parent. Where do you find that strength to keep going, to keep staying strong for your children, to keep showing up so that they don't see, what my mother is broken down, or you know what I mean?
I understand, Lynn.
Where do you find that strength when things feels overwhelmed?
I go into a corner and I pray. There's nothing impossible with the Almighty. A simple few words to the Almighty makes a big difference. That's all. I cannot say I'm doing it on my own, because
Yeah.
I'll be lying. It is the Almighty that gave me skills and talents and the mindset to know my place in this world.
How has your faith, what role has your faith played in everything that you went through
I
from
thi-
childhood?
I didn't know the Almighty when I was young. Everything changed, I think, in year 2017, when I went to the doctor and was diagnosed with high blood pressure, anxiety, and depression. That's where I had to take on the role of having a relationship with the Almighty. And I'm not sitting and saying that I'm a saint. I'm not a perfect Muslim, but I know that Islam is in my heart. And there's some basic skills and goals that I try to reach for the sake of, like, for example, I met a few months ago, I met this gentleman, a homeless person, and he told me a story of sorrow, how he landed on the street. So my vision with the book itself is that when someone opens up this book is not for me for fame. It's for someone that's going through a hopeless life and don't have a place called home, to read this book and to have a bit of change of mind. If
Yeah.
I can stop someone from taking that rope and hanging themselves or jumping from that bridge, I feel I've accomplished.
Tell me, what has your children taught you about resilience?
My children, right. My daughter, number one, she is a schoolgoer, regardless if I did not have that taxi fare to send her to school. She would sit at home with the books, and then she would beg me to ask her teachers online for work. That I call resilience.
Yeah.
My son finished matric, repeated 1 year, didn't have school shoes, and had to walk off his soles. Walk from Garden Village to Athlone High,
Yeah.
and today he's a matriculant. He passed his matric. That I call resilience. He walks in the rain without having breakfast every day. In his last 3 years, that I call resilience.
And what does healing look for you like now? at this moment in your life, what does healing look for you? How does healing look for you now
It looks
compared to what you went through?
I'm positive. It looks positive because healing I call when you can walk in the road and hug the person that has hurt you. Healing is when you will not allow the man, the father of your child that never paid maintenance not to get hurt. Healing is when you get attacked with a bottle in your head from a lady that's pregnant and you still hug her and ask her to change her ways. That I call healing. So healing on my side, I'm not completely there, but I'm getting there.
How did you shift everything from survival mode to building something now?
Okay, that's a good question. Survival to building. Eventually, I had to change my mindset of where finances are concerned, what is more important and what is only a want. So I don't want to call myself a survivor anymore. I still like the word hustling because I've got positive opinions about hustling. But survival, I would say no. I am now an overcomer. Because my mindset is right. So I know that everything will be put into place very soon.
No, and if you can go back, what would you tell that 16-year-old, 18-year-old Nadia now?
Okay, I would apologize to her firstly because I was very low self-esteem and I didn't see myself as any value. And looking back, I would tell her, Nadia, don't look at something in the physical attraction. Nadia, try to build yourself more and find yourself opportunities to enhance your understanding and a bit of knowledge, and do not give up. Look around you, find some help, reach out for help, take it and make it your own.
And you know, if there's anyone who is sharing the same journey that you went through, what can you tell them today? For those who are listening or will be listening, watching, when we post this video.
You know, a lot of people build anger through what they have gone, and I was there. A lot of people attempt to commit suicide, of course. A lot of people would just want to give up. But my advice to that person will be, there is hope. Reach out, especially if you've got anger issues. There are counselors everywhere for free. Reach out for help. Take it, make it your own, and try to improve in your decision making. Yes, you are suffering inside. Yes, it's very tough, but help yourself, and whoever gives you guidelines and whoever is guiding you and giving you a little bit of advice, take it and make that person proud to see that I've also played a role in your life, because we just want the best for each other. We want to hear that, yes, I was like that, but now I'm totally different. I am an ambassador of my own life. I've changed. Yes, there's new hope for me. I can do this. So it's just a mindset, Lynn. A lot of people would envying and jealousy. I don't do that. I don't believe in someone that can take your shine away. Everyone's got different skills and talent. You cannot live like that. If I would have lived like that, Lynn, where would I have been? My thing is, you've got your own visions, you've got your own missions in life. Walk towards it and reach it. If you don't know how, ask. And the other thing about peers and all, it's better for me to walk away with some ideas, not like you robbing someone, but draw from someone that has done it already, that is experienced in the whole setup. And if you walk away, you should tell yourself, wow, I should try this approach.
And the other thing that is important as well, is something that you mentioned earlier as well, is who you surround yourself with as well. Your healing, who you surround with is also part of your healing. You cannot surround you with someone who, and I might be wrong when I say this, you cannot be with someone who's going through the same thing.
Yeah, that will not help, yes.
You know, yes, you're going through the same thing, but your journey is not the same. You might not want to heal the same.
Exactly.
You know, you surround yourself with someone with people who looks forward, who's going to help you go forward, and
Forward,
not
yes.
get stuck in your position or go backwards.
I fully agree with
you
you.
know. So that is one, and that is the thing the mistake many people are making today is who they surround themselves with, and then they question themselves, why am I still in this position? Why am I not moving forward?
Exactly.
Look at your circle, and then tell me, who was your biggest supporters through all of this?
When I was
Did
young,
you get
Oh,
the
no.
support you needed when you
Eventually.
went through in your early stages?
yes, I've got a very good friend called Ivana Felix. You know her.
Yes.
She's my bestie. This woman stood firmly in my relationship with her as a friend. She's really proven what friendship entails.
Yeah.
And I do the same for her. She has given up sometimes because I'm very hard-headed. I'm very stubborn at times. But then you see her coming through for me again just by words of affirmation, advice, because she knows me and she knows what more I can accomplish in life. She's one person. Then I had my lecturer that would speak volumes in my life, so much that I could realize, no, you cannot go offshore. So I like people like that keep me grounded. And then obviously it's my children, my boy, my son. My daughter doesn't live with me at the moment. But when my son opens his mouth and talks about soccer and what he wants to be, and it also gives me a lot of hope and like a vision that, yes, I have also left an impact in his life.
You were speaking about divorce, your failed marriage. How has that experience been for you, going through all of that?
This first divorce was hectic, and that was years ago. My son was only about 6 months old, and I got married I was at 23 years old. I was married to a guy that was 45 years old. When you're young, you want to go after the tale that says, rather be an old man's darling than a young man's slave. But it's not the case. If people are people, they probably think the same anyway. And when we had our divorce, it was tough because he just walked out. He left me with my son, and I still loved him. And this, when you're young, at 23 years old, you still don't know where you want to be in life. That I can vouch for. So you are tender. You will cry every single day. You tell yourself, he told me that he will never leave, and look what he has done. So that is when I met my baby's father, and we're still together for 18 years. And while I was in a relationship still with him, I still loved my husband. It was confusing. My world fell apart. I got over it eventually when I fell pregnant with my second born only. That was 3 years later. It took me very long. Then the second marriage, and I'm still being judged for that. The second marriage happened while I was in a relationship with my current boyfriend. We were just having our bads and our ups and downs. I opened up the business, my educare, and the educare fell apart because of arguments. And that's where I thought, okay, let me get married to this person that's in the outside of the relationship. Hopefully he will make it work for me for the business and religious-wise as well. Little did I know that he only had his own interests at heart, and that I found out about 9 months after. So 9 months after marriage, I was divorced again. And I'm not proud of it. But hence it wasn't my choice. It was his choice because he felt that the distance wasn't working for us because he was working away, and he felt that I still loved my current, which was true. I can be honest about that. So I am actually hurt with that too, because I feel that had he not separated from me, had we not have the long distance relationship, it might have probably worked. So I feel that he did not work on our marriage. So that was my second failed marriage, yes.
And with the first one, you said that he was quite older than you, and you knew about it, right?
Yes.
And if we look at, sorry, the show is called Unfiltered, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna ask, the question. The second one, you said you were already with someone and you met. Do you feel or do you think, we as women, when we go into relationships and we know these things and it ends up in divorce and that, do you think we also need to take accountability for that and not just blame the other one?
The third party,
Because we
yes.
went in that relationship knowing,
Yes.
this man was 15 years older than me.
Yes.
We went into this relationship knowing that he wasn't really yours because you were in another relationship before.
That's
Do you
correct.
feel that we also need to take accountability for the divorce?
I fully do.
Or
And
do you, in your case, do you feel are you taking that part of that accountability?
I do actually. That's why, hence I'm saying I wasn't healed. It's all about healing, and I wrote about that in my book. I said you can never want to find success if you're not
Yeah.
fully healed. You can never open up a successful business if you're fully healed. So I've learned from that. So I understand that my partner could be still on the not forgiving part yet.
Yeah.
He's trying, but we okay. And yes, because why we make all these mistakes, because in my case, I didn't have a lot of guidance in my
Yes.
own. My foster mother passed away when I was 18 years old. And then life just happened, and I'm not making excuses for it. But I didn't have furthermore guidance in the house to tell me, no, Nadia, this is not good for you. That is okay for you.
Let's go over to the book. Telling your story is one thing, but writing it down for the world to read, what made you decide, because you have a story, you have a yeah, like I said, we grew up, so I kind of also know here and there. What made you decide to, I'm gonna write it down?
Oh, and to put it in plain words, I got tired of people judging me. I got just sick and tired of people that say I am something that I'm not. I had to make people understand where depression and anxiety comes from. Because people would ask me, why are you so edgy? Why are you so oversensitive? I'm not even an oversensitive person. I'm a sensitive person, and that's the difference. When someone is oversensitive, you can't even sit here with a smile or make a joke. I'm a sensitive person, meaning that I will easily know now if someone is taking
Yeah.
me for a ride, because I've learned that from young. So for the world to know my story, like I've mentioned before, I just want that woman or that male to understand what they're going through is only for the best of them at the end of the day. You can make it in life after you've read my story. It might just add a little bit of hope to the divorcee, to the single parent, the depression, anxiety sufferer, the person that's being mocked for something. It's very difficult when you want to achieve a goal and your best person don't believe in
Yes.
that. You would want your best person to believe in your goals, but turn it around. You cannot accept some compliments from someone that failed at the same goal that you wanted to reach. We cannot have it all together. So for me, what I've learned, if people didn't believe in my book that was not out on the market yet, I had to turn the other way. Turn your direction and look at the direction where people will support you.
Yes,
There are many.
100%.
Google, find out who has written a story, how to put your chapters in order. Get yourself focused with the people that's on the same journey.
Yes. Tell me, was there a part of when you wrote your story that was difficult for you?
Yeah, I stopped at a certain stage in my life with this book. There was a part, I could easily write off certain things, but there was a part where I could not speak about my cousin, my acquaintance that killed himself. I didn't write it in the book,
Yeah.
but I spoke about it where God's faith came to pass. So what happened there, I was 18 years old again, and this acquaintance cousin of mine, he lived with us, was also fostered at the home. And this particular day, he came and he picked me up for my first driver's lessons. And I asked myself, what weird experience is this? And he asked me some intense, I would say, questions, and I couldn't answer him directly, but I gave him some hints and that. And then he said to me I should go and change my shoes so that I can have control over the controls of the car and the petrol and those type of things. Yeah. So when I went inside, I went to go put on the shoes, and when I came outside, he was gone. And that was weird because this is now the same person that said he'll be waiting for me. Then the following week, we some news on the news, actually on the radio, we heard that one of his cousins has been found in the bushes, brutally murdered. And then the following week, it all followed in 3 weeks. The following week after that incident, we came to learn that he's a suspect of this. And then in the same period of time when he was suspected of the crime, he killed himself. He committed suicide. So that was horrific. But why did he kill himself? Because he killed his own cousin. So coming back to myself on that fatal day, on that strange experience that I had with him, his mother told me that maybe he was planning to do this to me and something stopped him. So that is why I wrote this book, because I had to love to write this book. I had to love to be in a foster care. I had to love to have 2 divorces. I had to love to have 2 children, to go through abuse, to go through mocking, to go through so many things that I had to write this book of. So all the information that my life was a journey, but it was also lessonful.
And that coming to my next question is, what do you hope people feel after they read your it's called a memoir, right?
Yes,
Not
that's
a book, a
correct.
memoir. What is your expectations? What would you want people to feel after they read your memoir?
A sudden ease that they're not alone in this world. Look what Nadia Bernardi has gone through. Gather from that. I want them to feel that there is hope. I will emphasize on that. Because to lose hope is something else, Lynn. You would want to take their tablets and overdose. I don't want people to think that committing suicide is the only way out.
Yes.
I would like people to feel that they can also write a book. They can also make a life story of their book to teach someone else. Not because we want to make money. Just be a counselor to someone.
And these days, if I'm not sure if you are like often on social media and that, but these days bullying has become so bad, and it's from female to female.
That's true.
You've went through that bullying stage. There were stages in my childhood where I witnessed that. And what do you have to, as a woman today, what do you have to say to those women who are bullying other women?
I had an experience of that with my daughter. My daughter was cyberbullied one day. And I wasn't very friendly with the person, of course, because I'm a mother.
Yeah.
But what I want to say to the person that's bullying the next woman, if you are having inferiority towards that person, sit down, rethink your actions. If you would want to be that person, go to the person and ask, how can I become like you? How can I do this also for myself? Instead of bullying the person, because the bully actually admires you.
Yeah. They want to be you.
They want to be you.
100%.
So sit back, rethink your actions, and go and ask, Lynn, how can I do my own podcast? I salute you, Lynn. I want to be like you. Help me on.
Yeah. And, in short, what does Unfiltered and United mean to you?
First of all, once again, I'm very honored to be on your show. It has given me a platform to express myself, to expose myself in my book. So what it means to me is that I can be whoever I want to be on your show.
Yes.
I am naturally me. I don't have to be someone else. It's woman to woman, and that's what I applaud, because we are busy fixing each other's crowns. I'm very big on that. And with your show, I feel that I have accomplished.
And that is what the show is about. That is why it's called Unfiltered and United. And it also reminds us that, what through whatever journey we're going through, we're not alone. We have strength. Again, I would emphasize on who you surround yourself with. We cannot go through things alone. You need that support, and I think that is also one of the reasons why we have the show, for people to share their stories. There's not a lot of platforms where people can come and share their stories, because if you must be a celebrity to come on and share your story at other platforms.
Indeed,
And that
yes.
is why we've created the space as well for anyone who has a journey to share. And I want to thank you very much, Nadia. Well
It's a
done.
pleasure.
From where you were to where you are. Just on the book as well. Where do we get the book?
Okay.
How can people purchase your book?
For now, you can purchase through me. I've got a business account that you pay your monies in.
Oh, yeah. Where can they get a hold of you so that then
On
you
my
can?
on my WhatsApp number for now, and on Facebook as well. For now, I heard you said I must try to open up a TikTok account, and that I'll be working
Yeah.
on. I'm free this week, so obviously I will do those type of things. But for now, I'm on WhatsApp and email also if you want to, and Facebook. Social
What's
media.
your handle on Facebook for those who wants to get a hold of you?
Okay, I'm Nadia Bernardi on.
Okay.
And I've got the page running there, but I'm not making use. I must still sort out all those type of things. But I'm Nadia Bernardi on. I need to open up my Facebook because I locked it. So now there's some more exposure coming through, so I'll probably
Yeah.
unlock my Facebook account. But I'm there, Nadia Bernardi or Nadia.Bernardi, my email address, and also my WhatsApp number.
Yeah.
It's everything on
I think we have
Facebook.
about 5 minutes left. Before we go, Nadia, just in short, what encouragement would you like to give our viewers out there?
encouragement. I need people to. I would, if you would ask me for advice on Nadia, how do I do this? I would say, please become a better person than last year. You must be able to say, I'm under construction, but I'm getting to my destination. So look back where you were last year and try to find out first, how have I changed? If not, there's still time. Make a change. If things are not working for you, look, if nothing goes right, go left. That's what I say to myself. There should be a way of making a change. For example, if your car is not moving, look and find where the problem is and fix it.
Yeah.
You are responsible for your own life. No one else
Yes.
is. Do not expect your partner or your married or your husband or wife to do this for you. It's not going to work. Lower your expectations. Anyone can disappoint you. Life is full of surprises, so this is all in your hands and it is all up to you.
Yeah. And for those who is listening, those who will be viewing when we post it, if this story spoke to you, if you have a story to tell your story. Be that safe space for someone else. Give that hope for someone else that they're not alone. They can speak about it. There are people that's willing to listen, that is willing to help. So, and remember that you are not alone in your story. So from Mil and Kay, thank you to everyone that has tuned in. Thank you, Nadia.
You're most welcome.
We
Thank
wish you well with whatever's next. We wish you well with the book going forward. Hope there's many more books.
Thank you.
So from Mil and Kay, stay safe and stay blessed.
God, I'm still counting my blessings.